Alright, so as promised, I'm back with the 6-star free battles for Colosseum. And I'm still using my usual team. I would highly suggest, if you have the figures, just trying it out. See how it works out for you. Heck, you might even replace a figure or two here or there to make it even better, for all I know. And that's just one really cool thing I find about the community, is just how so freaking smart a lot of you guys are. And just the fact that you're able to look at a team and go, yeah, it's okay, but run them like this instead. And often I've seen really great teams come out of that over on Muggs' channel. I know he's quit PvP at this point, but a couple of players from his tournament. Who won the tournament? I want to say it was... Who won the tournament? Sun Santana, there we go. But he's made some freaking crazy teams, and won the tournament this last year, so that was pretty cool to see. And if you haven't already seen the tournament over on Muggs' channel, I would recommend doing so, because there are some really good players over there. And it's just somewhat of a shame that Muggs has gotten so frustrated to the point where he's not really doing online anymore. Same with Bobo, and you all know I haven't touched PvP at all in like the longest time. See, my biggest thing with player versus player online especially is it just always seems unfair, if that makes any sense. And when I say that, I'm talking about, you know, ping, netcode, lag, latency, all that stuff. Online is not really something I fancy doing when it comes to player versus player. Now, co-op, and on the other hand, that's something that I think is really well handled online, and it's actually fair. You're all contributing to reach a common goal, whether it be, you know, playing Monster Hunter, or, let's see, what's another good example of a co-op game that's not... Okay, so Dauntless, that's another good one. Let's see. I would, to a degree, most of the MMOs where the PvP is rather optional and not really the main focus of the game. So games like Raiders, you may or may not have heard of that. That's actually a pretty good one. I am thinking about downloading that and trying that out again, because I actually got really far in it on my own, and I don't know, just sort of disappointed I never saw it all the way through. I think I might have stopped because, like, all the quests, the more you keep leveling, they're all basically the same thing. You don't really get to a whole lot of the cool bosses until all that's, like, said and done. And I swapped out the wrong figures. There we go. Okay, much better. But even games like, you know, Terra and WoW, you know, just ones like that. And I wanted to ask you guys something too, because I was watching Muggs actually this evening playing Super Dragon Ball Heroes, and I have to say there are a lot of really cool things in the game that I do enjoy. There are also a bunch of things that, I don't know, sort of intimidate me a bit, because there's just so much waiting and animations and sort of quick time event minigames to go through when you're playing. So, I love Dragon Ball. I've been a fan of it since I was 5. Could you, any of you folks watching, recommend that to me? Because, you know, fanfiction is not particularly something I'm too into. I mean, if I'm doing that, I don't really even make, like, my own fanfiction or anything. I just sort of come up with stuff about my own characters and my game on the fly just for the hell of it sometimes. But anyway, could you recommend Super Dragon Ball Heroes to me? Because, again, that is one thing I'm really not a fan of, is just all the quick time events in it. The reason I'm asking is, I'm also wondering, is that something that some of you guys would want to see on the channel? If I were to get Super Dragon Ball Heroes. And I don't need an immediate answer either. You can, all take your time thinking about it. I don't know, just kind of hesitant on it also. That's not a terrible game, but it, with any good game still has its flaws. Saying nothing is perfect is 100% like truth, because and I think the saying is actually nobody's perfect. Still, I think you could apply that to games. No game is truly perfect. Man, I screwed that up. Whoops. Been screwing those up a bunch lately while recording. I usually almost never, ever screw up those counterattacks. I suppose it doesn't matter. Blue Evolution Vegeta was still able to kill some Colosseum, so no harm, no foul. Then we're gonna put Vegeta off like we normally do, put out as Goku. It's funny actually. I think that was over on Rock and Robo's channel. He was doing a test to see how far he could get Majub's defense to go. He got as high as 20k from Majub, and when I say Majub, I mean, basic Oob from End of Z, when he was much shorter, younger, and skinnier. I mean, he did lose, but he actually managed to make a bunch of those battles. He was in Dragon for the full 9 turns. And what's really cool about that too is he took the time to edit basically to the very ends of those fights, just so he could see what the defense numbers were like at the end. And usually he lost because if you have a team that also hits hard and you're not just focusing on stacking defense, you're probably gonna win. And he just wanted to, see how far he could get the defense to go. I was thoroughly impressed with that. Couldn't believe that he was actually able to get to 20k defense. That's crazy. But now we're here on turn 3, just gonna put out Super Saiyan 4 Goku off to the side. And I will say it again, I think this is just such an incredibly solid setup. Because there are just so many things going for it. The biggest thing, I think, being that there's an answer to not just figures who ignore defense, but also figures who ignore damage reduction. So, things like Beerus and Focus Flash Vegeta. Because NSC Goku, even without all of his dupes into HP, he's still going to be able to survive one turn from one hit from one of those guys, so that just gives, us the players so much more room to breathe and not have to worry about constantly having to worry about taking far too much damage to the left side. It also creates, room for other figure options, which I'm always a big fan of, because, again, so you guys are just so freaking smart with making your teams in this game. And a couple people I could definitely say that have shown just really impressive ideas are Vegeta Ultra Instinct and Darkness King. A bunch of your guys' ideas have just been awesome. And then we're gonna put out Super Saiyan Goku. I'm not really too concerned with Majin Buu. He's not terrible. I just don't think he's really good for anything other than Meat Shield. Doesn't have very decent attack, doesn't have very decent HP to back up all that defense he's got. The speed is also kind of lacking. I really do hope, I don't know if I've said this before, I really do hope that some of you don't look at me as like a cheater, because that's not the idea with me having access to all these tools and being able to make the figures as best as they can be. Sure, that's fun for me, but I just want to see how far we can take these, you know, figures. Let's push them to the limits and beyond. That's all I want to do with them. That's why I still don't leave in PvP, not even in Hero Colosseum. And I suppose that's also something that I could bring mention to. As far as PvP Online, like strategy games, like turn-based games for PvP Online, I think those are just fine. So like, you know, Pokemon Showdown, things like that. Chess or whatever. Or for a bunch of you other folks out there, games like Yu-Gi-Oh!, Hearthstone, Magic the Gathering. I personally never really saw the appeal to Magic the Gathering. But hey, if it's your thing, then cool, that's your thing. I forgot whether or not there's a free Magic the Gathering online game. I think it is free, or you might have to like, have a subscription. If anyone's like actually doing that, feel free to correct me on that, because I have no idea. Alright, so we just get done with Cell. And yeah, we'll do Team Gohan really quick and call it apart there. Because we still have a bunch more battles to do as is, and I should actually be in bed right now. It's, let's see, what time is it? Yeah, it's already 2:38. I was supposed to be in bed like over 2.5 hours ago, but oh well. I'll live. I'm usually good as soon as I get a cup of coffee at work. But as soon as I get in, that's the first thing I get. Let's see, we're just gonna skip past all these. And even after taking 2 attacks, Spiral still only lost like maybe 1,000 HP. There, so she's just far too good. And she gets even better with MZ Goku. Alright, so she's dead. This is definitely not going to one-shot. That is a very decent Gohan figure, I have to say. It doesn't do a whole lot of attack. So much HP, though, I mean, Jesus. Speaking of which, and may as well bring him up again since I already mentioned him, if any of you guys want to see, like, some of the best HP figures in this game, I would recommend going to check that out on Mux's channel. He does some pretty cool top 10 lists on what he feels are like the top 10, not just HP figures, but also ones like top 10 speed figures, top 10 attack figures, things like that. And he factors in posing skills and stats. The only thing he doesn't really factor in is O1. Because it makes sense not to do that, because it is kind of unfair if they don't really have a spot in the upper middle. Also, O1 figures are kind of broken. You can easily get around them with a lot of the skills that we have access to the point where no one even runs the double Gohan strategy anymore. At least I don't think anyone does still. Unless maybe, I don't know, that they're trying to rely on that, or that's all I got to work with. I just think this is such a solid setup, though. I know this is still an easier free battle, but look at my team. They've still got over half HP on all of them, and my master hasn't even been touched. Well, that's just because the AI didn't really put anyone on the left from the first turn, but still. And I'm still building them up. And you can pretty much keep doing that with this team if you play correctly and all that good stuff. But yeah, if anyone has any recommendations or suggestions to make this team even better, I'm very open to that. I think that's really cool that so many of you are just able to recognize all these little things that I'm not able to. And I'm not as dedicated to this game as a lot of you guys are either, because obviously I work full-time, so otherwise I'd be doing a lot more of these vids and a lot more frequently. Speaking of which, we're gonna have to see how it goes, but I'm getting my very first kitty this weekend, so a bunch of my free time is going to be spent towards the cat. I cannot wait to take care of it, and just love the hell out of it. It's going to be good not just for me, but for my roommates also. It's nice having the cat or a dog in the house. Even though it's just an apartment, not really a house, but same difference. Yeah, we'll have this play out. I want to see how much damage he does. Pretty freaking good, considering he's only been out there one turn. You know, just this one turn. Suppose I'll ask also, do any of you guys still use the Super Saiyan God Goku figure? I just think he's really freaking good. Yeah, suppose let me know, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Next time we'll be doing the last few free battles for Star 6 against Super Boo, Metal Cooler, and Andrew 21. Until then, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.